All right, let's run down the rest of these games. Cardinals at Falcons. At this point, the Cardinals' fairy tale is over. It's over. I don't have any faith they can win this game. They're going into Atlanta. I'd like to think Atlanta is somewhat headed in the right direction, more so than what the Falcons are or the Cardinals are. I have no confidence that the Cardinals can win this game.
Neither do I. Just from what we've seen from the Cardinals without Kyler Murray, like we thought it was bad with Kyler Murray. Like, holy cow. Like they do need that guy because it's a train wreck over there right now. So go ahead and give me Artie Smith and Desmond Ritter. Come in and get Desmond's first career win.
All right, the Saints at Eagles. This is an interesting game. This is a real interesting game because the Eagles are still trying to hold on to this number one spot. The Saints are out of contention. I mean, they're in the 12th spot. I don't see that really changing. I mean, there's a lot of weird stuff that has to happen. But they can certainly play spoiler here, but I don't think they're going to have enough ass. So I think, at a time where some teams are going to maybe resting starters or whatever, or in a time we should be talking about that is not going to happen. The Jets have every reason to win this game. Is Hurts active for this week?
Hurts is likely not going to play, so it'll be Gardner Minshew again.
So that gives us that even that increases the Saints' chances of winning. I still think the Eagles are too much at home.
That's how I feel too. You know what I mean? The Saints were able to go on the road and beat the Browns in Cleveland, and Andy Dalton was 8 of 15 for 92 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. They were able to win, right? But this Eagles team, not the Browns. Outside of the quarterback, this Eagles team is very complete all the way around. They have everything you could ask for. So, while I think Lane Johnson, the right tackle, the best right tackle in the league, he's going to be out of this game more than likely also. I think he's already been ruled out. So, that'll hinder him. But even still, the Eagles are just too good for the Saints. Like, I just don't think the Saints have it.
Me either. All right, Panthers at Bucks. This is like the most interesting game that nobody cares about. I saw a meme, that said that Goodell's announced that he's going to suspend the NFC South from the playoffs because nobody's at 500. We actually we talked about that yesterday, that if they should make a rule, if the division leader isn't at 500, then that division forfeits their playoff spot. Not going to happen. The Bucks are only one game ahead in this division at what, 6 wins?
7 and 8.
7 and 8. So. And the Panthers are right behind them. The Panthers got a little bit of a boost, confidence boost, and this is an interconference game. This game could go either way, even despite it being in Tampa. It could be a really good game with playoff implications, and frankly, no one really cares.
Yeah, something I heard that was interesting today, that Steve Wilkes, the interim head coach, has 5 wins for the Panthers this season. That is the same amount that Matt Rule had the entire time he was with the Panthers, which is insane, right? So there's a good chance he ends up being the head coach. And look, the Panthers, like you said, getting a confidence boost. Like they didn't just win; they stomped a mud hole in their opponent this past week. So coming into this game, like the way they look, they're so up and down. It's hard to pick them, but I'm going to pick the Panthers to win this game. And by the end of it, because if they beat Tampa, they will own the tiebreaker. So they will be tied in record and they will be in the lead in this division. So I think the Panthers get it done this week.
I would love to do that. And the 5-game stat that you just threw out there, I did not know. That kind of changes a little bit. I still have to go with the old man, even though I think the coaching. I don't think it's all Brady's fault. We've talked about, is Brady too old? I don't think it's all Brady's fault. I think it's a coaching problem. It's a big problem. And so that worries me, but I still have a little bit of faith left in the old man, knowing where he's at. We talked about that was Belichick on the Patriots video we did. I'd like to think that Brady knows what's at stake. He's going to get his guys ready, pick up some leadership that might offset a little bit of the coaching. They are in Tampa. So I have to believe they're going to win this game. But we might be seeing the rise of the Panthers. And if we are, they could come in here and take care of business and take control of this division and maybe take control of it for years to come.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Sam Darnold's the guy in the future. He's actually looked decent since coming back from injury. You know what I mean? You were talking about while we're talking about it, it's not all Brady's fault. You're right. It's not all Brady's fault. Just like all the rings he won wasn't all Brady's. It wasn't all him doing it.
Right.
He give Brady, Brady has one of the worst O lines in the league. Guess what? He looks average or less than average. So there you go. That fuels my argument that Peyton's the GOAT. Just wanted to make sure I throw that in there.
Okay. Well received. I got you. All right. Browns at Commanders, another game that, not a whole lot of people are excited about, but this has playoffs implications for the Commanders. I mean, they have to win this game. And, it's not Ron Rivera's first rodeo. So we'll see what they're at home in the Browns, or the Browns. And I think Rivera will have his team prepared and trying to mentally take them to another level. And when this is a playoff game for them, and I think they'll pull it off.
Did we ever figure out if Heineke got hurt or did he get pulled?
He got pulled.
He got pulled. So in this game, it's going to be interesting.
Wentz is like a cold sore. He won't go away. He just keeps coming back.
Legitimately. And of course, like even if Wentz is a quarterback for the last couple of games, I still don't think he's going to play enough for the Colts to get a better draft pick. So thanks for that. I just don't know coming into this it just feels like either way, no matter which quarterback is in, I don't have confidence that the Browns are going to win. Like they have looked so bad. They weren't really winning games with Jacoby, but they at least look competitive with Jacoby. They look like absolute garbage with Deshaun, which has been an interesting development. So go and give me the Commanders to win this one.
All right. I conceded. I didn't really have to concede about your Manning is the GOAT argument over Brady earlier in this video. But I'm going to ask you to recall a conversation we had about the Jags a couple weeks ago. Dude, the Jags are for fucking real.
It would appear that
Okay, that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted.
They appear to be the real deal.
I think Peterson's got it turned around. I mean, he's a Super Bowl coach, right? I mean, he wore out his welcome in Philadelphia. We talked about he needed fired. I'm glad he got fired. It's what should have happened. It still doesn't mean he's not a good coach. And he came here for Trevor Lawrence, and he may have found what he was looking for, and Lawrence may have found what he needed in Peterson. And they may be building the Jags into the AFC South premier team. And if that's the case, they will kick the shit out of the Texans this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you talk about just this weekend, I think this has a chance to be a good game. I might have been one of the only people alive that picked the Texans to beat the Titans last week. But there's no way I think the Texans are going to be able to beat the Jags. The Jags are hot right now. They're putting it together. So I think the Jags win this game. But you talk about their future and what they can do in the future. Like I knew when they signed Christian Kirk, like drafting Trevor Lawrence is going to be a problem. He was always destined to be great. When they got Christian Kirk in the offseason, I was not only hurt that we didn't get him, but when everybody had the reaction that he was overpaid, I thought it was crazy. I was like, yeah, I would love to have Christian Kirk. Like, have you not watched this guy play football? Like, what are we talking about? So, they have Christian Kirk. Don't forget, a lot of people forget because he hasn't played this year because he's suspended, but they traded for Calvin Ridley, who it was reported after he got traded to Jacksonville that he's almost certainly going to be playing next year. And that's why Jacksonville was okay with trading for him, was because there was enough circulating in the inner circle that he would be back next year. Calvin Ridley's a game changer too. So this offense is going to be dangerous for the future. And I know, we can talk about that more in the offseason. Kind of got on a little tangent there. But talking about this weekend, I think the Jags beat up on the Texans.
All right, Rams at Chargers, the game that it wasn't supposed to be this way. When the schedule was put together, everybody's like, this is the Battle of LA. You've got the Super Bowl champions. You've got the rising Chargers, their territorial rights. Last game, well, not the second last game of the season. And this just falls flat. It appears that Mayfield has breathed some life back into the Rams a little bit, but the season's lost. I mean, it's over. Yeah, so the Chargers are in sixth at 8-6, with the Jags ahead of them. Whether they're going to take the division, so they're in sixth. The Dolphins are right behind them, 8-7. The Patriots 7-8. Jets 7-8, Titans 7-8, Steelers 7-8. There's a whole lot of weird things that can happen. So the Chargers need to win this game. But I think the Rams are used to winning. They're so frustrated. They finally had a big win yesterday. Mayfield's breathed some life. He's confident. McVay, we're going to want to get this winning attitude environment back in, and it's the Battle of LA. So I think both these teams have something to fight for. This should be a really good game.
Yeah. I think this has a chance to be a good game with what we've seen from Baker Mayfield. 2 of the 3 games, Baker's been able to come up big, especially against the Broncos, and that Broncos defense to put up 51 points. It's absolutely crazy. Cam Akers looked like Cam Akers again. Been waiting for that. I look like a dummy. I talked about him so much in the offseason and at the beginning of the year. Cam Akers can be a guy, just waiting for him to go, and he finally started to go. So hopefully that can be consistent as we go into 2023. And like you said, I think this has a chance to be a good game. But at the end of the day, and by the way, we are recording this before the Chargers have played their Monday Night Football game, but we're both assuming the Chargers are able to beat the Colts on Monday Night Football. And I think the Chargers are able to win the Battle of LA. I just don't think the Rams are going to be able to put it together. It could be my brain just doing an every other game kind of thing, and this is going to be the bad game for the Rams. But I just think the Chargers, with as healthy as they've gotten, they're going to be too much for this Rams team.
So interesting, because on the other side, I think the Rams are way better than their 5-win record. I think they've been plagued with injuries and problems. They just haven't been able to get over the hump. And I think yesterday was a huge shot in the arm for them. And I completely expect them to come out and look like some type of a semblance of the older Rams and prove a point. And I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see in this game. Both these teams get accused of, having the visitors teams fill the stadium. It'll be interesting to see just how filled the stadium is with both these teams in there.
That's a great point. Nobody's going to
go. Just a half-filled stadium.
Oh, that's too funny.
And I would love to know what you think about this game, what you think is going to happen, who you think is going to win. You let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you for the next video.